I feel like Formula E's got a pretty bad rep within the F1 community. You know, I find it's like Marmite. You either love it, hate it, or despise the thought of it enough to never try it. And I mean, before the whole talent call thing, if you don't know what I'm on about, go watch this video here. I'll be honest, I wasn't a die-hard Formula E fan. I watched the first race live when it happened in like 2014, 2015, and then sporadically tuned in over the years, before getting a little bit more into it last season, watching the highlights of every race. But you know, like I was never invested to the same extent that I am as Formula 1. And I think a lot of other Formula 1 fans would say the same. And this really got me thinking, why? I love racing, both watching it and doing it. Hence why I love Formula 1. And Formula E, despite it being different in various ways, is still racing. So in theory, F1 fans should enjoy it. But how come many of us fans don't even give the series a chance? Well, as I said with the talent call, it was a great excuse for me to sit down and really throw myself into the Formula E community. Sitting down to watch all the past seasons, learning about and understanding each team and driver, and just getting generally more up to date with all the rules, regulations, and storylines. And by doing so, I think I've figured it out. Formula E is complicated. Well, I mean, at least it seems like it is from the outside. You know, as F1 fans, we have a fixed idea of what a race weekend looks like in our eyes, how qualifying works, how racing works. But in Formula E, it's different. From the weekend format to the racecraft, and of course the way the cars are powered. And I just think some of us can't really be bothered to put the time into learning, which is a shame, because honestly, lads, Formula E is actually class. Like, genuinely. And also, I should probably add at this point, this video has nothing to do with Formula E. I've not made it in association with them. I'm not trying to spread propaganda to you. I'm just generally invested in Formula E a bit now, and you know, I want to try and help people like myself a couple months ago who wanted to watch a bit more Formula E and, you know, understand it a bit more but didn't know where to start. But anyway, I thought with a new Formula E season on the horizon, I'll try and help you lot understand the basics of Formula E, so that come Deria, that you can all hopefully give it a chance, tune in, understand what's going on, and hopefully see the fun and action that Formula E has to offer. So without any further ado, the following is everything you need to know about Formula E.
You don't like me, that's established. Keyboard warrior, ugly ass catfish. You can never act this out here, living that lavish life. You should be embarrassed, yeah.
Formula E's all-electric racing series, which takes 12 teams and 24 drivers around the world to some of the biggest cities to fight it out on the streets. In cars, obviously, they're not just having brawls in the middle of Santiago. Now, unlike Formula 1 and some other motorsports, all of Formula E's action takes place on one day, usually. Starting off with 2 practice sessions at 45 and 30 minutes long each, which is then followed by qualifying. Now, for me, quali was the weirdest thing to sort of understand, as it's so different to Formula 1, and it seemed very complicated in my head, but then actually once I figured it out, it's really not complicated at all. The drivers go out to qualify in groups of 6, starting off with the top 6 in the championship, then the next 6, then the next 6, and then the next, in order to try and shuffle up the pack a little bit, since as the session time goes on, the track gets worn in a bit. In theory, it should be easier for the people going later to set quicker lap times, thus, you know, shuffling the order, and giving those lower down in the championship a better chance of qualifying higher up. In their groups, they have a 6-minute session, in which they're each allowed 1 full power lap to try and set their time. Then after that, the fastest driver from each group gets 1 championship point, and then get put into another group of 6, who then all battle it out for a chance to get Super Pole. In Super Pole, they each go out and have 1 lap to try and set the fastest time possible, and as you can probably assume, the fastest in that session gets pole position and 3 championship points as well. See, it is fairly simple once you get your head around it. I know I'm not the best at explaining things, lads, but hopefully I did a good job there. So finally, next up is the race itself. Each race is 45 minutes plus 1 lap long, which is about half the length of a usual F1 race, and obviously it begins with the 5 red lights, and away they go. Now, throughout the race, drivers have to do a number of things, like obviously, you know, race the car, but there's also a few unique things that Formula E drivers have to do, you know, Formula 1 drivers wouldn't have to. Firstly, attack mode, aka the star from Mario Kart. Each driver has to take attack mode a certain amount of times during a race. To do so, they have to leave the Alden racing line and go through an activation zone, which oftentimes does result in them losing positions, since, you know, they're leaving the racing line. However, when activated, attack mode does give the driver a power boost for a certain length of time, literally like the star in Mario Kart. The duration of attack mode plus the amount of times you have to take it per race varies from track to track, and is only relayed to the team and drivers just before the race starts, just, you know, add a little bit of spice. And if this wasn't enough, Formula E also have a thing called fan boost. Now, this one's a little bit more controversial, but basically it allows fans to have a direct impact on the race, as by tweeting with a hashtag for their favourite driver, they can give them a boost, with the top 5 voted drivers getting awarded a 5-second power boost, which might not seem like a lot, but could easily be the difference between overtaking their rival or not. Now, if you haven't already guessed, this is quite controversial because, you know, some drivers just have more fans than others. I mean, the best way to put it is, if this was in Formula 1, Lando and Ricciardo would be getting boosts every race, and poor Giovinazzi would be bloody fuming. But yeah, I think that's everything you need to know in terms of the race and weekend format. So let's meet the teams and drivers, shall we? Now, as I said, Formula E has 12 teams. However, some are leaving at the end of this season, but let's not mention that. Let's not complicate things. There's 12 teams, alright? So I'm going to run through them now and introduce you to each of them. Also, quick side note, I might not call these teams by their full names because they're just a bit long, so I'm just going to be doing the shortened version. The Cheetah, the closest thing you get to a dominant force in Formula E. The Cheetah have 2 world champs in their team this year, with the Costa, who won the championship last year, and Formula E's only 2-time world champion Jean-Eric Vergne, who took the title in season 4 and season 5. These boys are top dogs, or should I say top cats. Get it? Because Cheetah. Prepared to see them battling at the front this season. Aldi. Another strong team led by season 3 champion Lucas Degrassi, paired with a still relatively new Formula E driver, Rene Rast. These guys are one of the teams leaving at the end of the season, by the way, just so you know. BMW, also leaving at the end of the season, but for season 7, they've got 2-time race winner Maximilian Gunther and rookie Jake Dennis. Dragon, or Penske, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. Arguably the pengest car on the grid this year. Their drivers are Nico Muller and Sergio Sette Camera, who you might remember from Formula 2. Envision Virgin Racing, or just Virgin. For some reason, I feel a connection with this team. Had a lot of wins and podiums in their time, and this year have the exciting lineup of Robin Franz and Nick Cassidy, who you may recognise since he's literally been all over the motorsport world. Jaguar, my favourite team, no idea why, with Britt Sandberg joining them this year, alongside Mitch Evans. These two are definitely ones to watch this season, according to, well, me, I said so. And I was nearly a Formula E pundit, so trust my opinion. Mahindra, another saucy looking car, and lineup with 2 Brits leading the charge, Alexander Sims and Alex Lynn. He's my best mate, you know. Mercedes, still a relatively new team in the sport. Merc has a cracking lineup of 2 drivers F1 fans will definitely know. Stoffel Van Dorn and 2019 F2 champion Nick De Vries. These guys are definitely on the up this year, so we'll be excited to see how they get on. Neo, been a bit of a backmarker team these last few years, but they have a brand new powertrain this year. They're hoping for big things from their drivers, Oliver Turvey and Tom Blumenquist. And also I saw this bloody genius hang around their garage, so they could be on for a winner this year, lads. Nissan, another strong team with a champion on board, with season 2 champion Sebastian Buemi partnered along 1-time race winner Oliver Rowland. They're hoping they can succeed in season 7. Get it? Niscan? They're Nissan. Venturi, run by Toto Wolff's wife Susie. Venturi haven't really been able to achieve the same dominance as the Mercedes F1 team, but still with Mortara and Norman Nato on board, who knows what season 7 holds for them. And finally, we have Porsche, who have possibly the meanest looking driver lineup, with Andre Lotterer and Pascal Wehrlein. Remember him, lads? Bloody hero. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That is every team and driver in Formula E for this season. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much all you need to know before going into this season to actually understand what's going on. I hope you feel a little bit more educated now, lads. But one more thing I want to address before I end this video is the common misconception that Formula E cars sound like hairdryers. You know, I've seen the jokes, I've probably made the jokes in the past. They do sound weird, they sound a bit squealy, okay? But that's just on TV, honestly. In real life, I was shocked. They sound like bloody jumbo jets. So I want no more slander towards the Formula E cars, lads, alright? Anyway, that's it from me, lads. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful in any way, make sure to leave it a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. My name's Aiden, this has been MrAidenRule. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you lot next time.
My grandma tell me that I still look young, but my little cousin thinks I'm turning 31. You know she only 6 and 3 months, and you can't forget the months. Got me missing what it meant to grow up. Yeah, I used to air up my tires, ride my bike to the park. Capri Sun, me with friends, play ball till it's dark.